The wrongs we must right. The fights we must win. The future we must secure together for our nation. This is what's in front of us. This determines what's next for all of us. We are Marines. We were made for this.
I was in DC this weekend and I went to my cousin's swim practice. He's like 7.
Oh my God.
And I walked in and you just get hit with chlorine, right?
Oh yeah, it's aggressive.
Yeah, and I haven't been in like a pool,
Mm-hmm.
enclosed pool space in a long time. So you just walk in, boom, hit with the chlorine. I was like, Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
But I was thinking about you and Inigo because I know you guys go swim in the morning sometimes. And I was
Yeah.
like, is this what they like? I was like, is this really every morning when you
Yeah.
go to the pool, you just get hit with that smell and then, I don't know, put
No,
your
it is.
cap on and do all that?
And the worst part is sometimes when you shower, the water pressure is kind of low. So when you come to work and you're like, you still smell a little bit like chlorine. Whatever.
I don't know if I want that for me.
I gotta get him back on that. You should try it. You should try it once.
No, I mean, like, that's the thing. I want to swim, but I don't know if I'd want to go before work and like risk smelling like chlorine or
I mean, you can. I'm overplaying it.
okay. All right. I never smelled it.
That's
So,
good. Just get a swim
yeah.
cap.
Yeah.
Pull up.
No.
Why not? You have to at some point.
To the rec center?
Like one time, you need to come.
Isn't it like free until 26?
Yeah, I think so.
So I've got like
25 and under, I think. Yeah.
I've got 5 months
Yeah, and I'm here for
for
3, so figure it out.
Ooh.
FIO.
All right. You wanna talk about that? Why are you here for 3 months?
I didn't know if we were actually using this part for the pod or not. I was just talking. I'm going to grad school, you guys. I got into Syracuse University Newhouse School for Public Communications, studying broadcast and digital journalism in their sports and media communications track. That is a mouthful. But
Yeah, it is.
pretty much just means I'm pursuing doing on-air sports broadcasting as a career. And I'm like smiling so big when I say that because I said this to some people, like people close to me, but like Josh is just going crazy on the screen. I feel like I hadn't actually like given myself permission for a long time to like think this was a career I could do. It felt like, okay, that's for other people. Like I kept just thinking like, okay, that's cool, it's for other people, and like I'll watch them do that. But that's never gonna be something I'm actually gonna be able to achieve. I don't know why I thought that, but I did. It was very limiting. And so that applying to this was one part of it, one part of the step. Being like, okay, maybe you could, and then getting in was like, oh, wait a minute. Like, you also see it in me. Awesome. So,
So
pretty
I mean, I feel like we always talked about it because not just that in general, but I guess holistically, like we see so much more in our friends than they see in themselves.
cool.
Because you're like, oh, like I don't know, like I'm looking at all these applicants, and gee, like you look at their resumes, and like Maggie, like you broadcast at the NFL, and you've done all these things, like not many people get to claim that, so and you're doing a good job. They keep you there,
They do. They haven't fired me yet.
They could have let you go,
They could have. Could have cut
so
me after 6 months.
you're cut out for it. But no, it's always funny. But yeah, huge congratulations. I mean, it's amazing. Found out last week? That was
Oh
2
my
weeks
gosh. Craziest find out story. Found out so as you probably saw on the gram, I was in Orlando for the Pro Bowl, and then I was in New Orleans for the Super Bowl back to back. So Monday night of Super Bowl week is called opening night, and we pulled all the top players from both teams, like the Travis Kelce's, the Pat Mahomes, Saquon Barkley, Jalen Hurts, whatever, for all these different media interviews, like SiriusXM, Westwood, NFL social media, and they kind of just like go through this media car wash essentially. So I'm doing that. I'm like, got on the plane at like 5 a.m. that morning, longest day of my freaking life. And then I check my email. This is like the one time that I'd stopped thinking about it. It has been living in my brain, this application, rent-free for like 3 or 4 months, I feel like. So I finally check my phone, and then I'm like, oh, I got an email. And then I'm like, oh my God, I got an email. And then I open it in the tunnel, like in the service level of the Superdome. This is going to be burned in my memory. Open my phone in the service level of the Superdome, see that they gave me a scholarship. And I'm like, immediate tears. I'm like freaking
Oh,
out. It was crazy. It was so crazy. Like that is truly going to be like a foundational memory in my brain.
how special is that too? That it happened in the best stadium in the world.
Okay, come on.
Come
Nice
on.
stadium. Don't know if it's the best,
It's the Superdome. It's a work of art. It is the finest old stadium in the NFL.
according to
In dare
you.
I say, according to me, according to people with sense,
Mm,
according to architects everywhere, which I'm not, but Superdome has stood the test of time. It's a great place to host.
we didn't black out this year, so that was a positive.
Yeah, it's probably. I mean, like, you really think about it, the blackout was because of Beyonce. It's too much energy
Probably.
because she was the. I'm pretty sure she was the halftime host, but not taking away from you. Yeah, I feel like you veer towards Beyonce. That becomes a whole nother thing.
That is another conversation.
But that's all. Like, that's actually awesome. That's so
It was
cool.
so
You're
crazy.
in the tunnel, like in the tunnel
I'm literally in the service
at
level, and then I'm
work.
like, I'm like sitting next to a few of my like coworkers, people on my team, and then I'm like, oh my God, and then I'm like, do I keep this secret or do I tell them? And then so me and my brain, I'm like, okay, but I'll tell these two, but like I'll be like, can you keep a secret? So I'm like, hey, can you guys keep a secret? And then I proceed to tell everyone on my team in like the next 15 minutes because I can't control myself because I'm so
Yeah,
happy.
yeah. No,
And they were so supportive. That's like the thing that meant the most is like having the support of the people on the NFL broadcasting team who were then saying to me like, "Oh yeah, we see this for you," is like actually mind blowing. And I've said this to them, and I don't think I can like say it enough of like you guys are literally the people in these decision making places and who are like watching all these games are like telling me, "Oh no, I could really see this for you." And I'm like, "Oh, so you're not just like gas like you have every right to tell me yes or no on this, and you're all saying good things." Which just makes me so excited.
and now you get to fully pursue it.
And now I get to fully pursue it. Also, I don't think I told you this, but we can memorialize it on the pod. The podcast was a huge part of my application. Like I would not have applied with as thorough of an application had it not been for the pod that we started a year ago.
Let's go, Pod.
Crazy. No,
Come
but seriously, like
on.
you had a part in that, which is
That's
cool.
big. That's big. I can't
Yeah.
wait to like tell everybody I know, and you are I don't even know who to make the comp towards, but like, broadcast A team sideline, not even sideline reporter. Like, let's put you in the booth.
Get
In
me
the
in the
booth,
booth.
whatever you want to do. When
Yeah.
you're doing that, you're calling a Super Bowl in like 15 years, and I'm gonna be like, she wouldn't even be there without me. Like she literally
I
wouldn't be
can.
there. Like I had to carry her on this podcast for her to
Hmm.
get into grad school, for her to get this spot at,
Uh-huh.
said company.
Okay, now you're never gonna live
Um,
this down. I should never have brought this
no,
up.
this is huge. This is huge for me. This is big
Mm.
for me. Like
Mhm. It's gonna go on your resume, your accomplishment.
100%, 100%,
Fine. Yeah.
100%. Maggie Robinson, or should I say Margaret Robinson, got into journalism school at Syracuse
Because of me.
because of me, because of me.
Yeah.
And like, I don't think you realize how special it is for me,
Hmm.
to have played such an instrumental role
It's awesome.
in somebody as great as you is in their life. So, you know,
Oh.
please, I don't need a thank you right now. Um, but in a couple years,
Mhm.
slide me a Super Bowl ticket. That's
Right.
all. That's
Right.
all. You know,
That'd be goals
maybe,
if I can do that.
huh?
That'd be goals if I like somehow have that clout.
That'd be dope.
Couldn't
That'd
bring
be
anyone to
dope.
this Super Bowl, but like maybe the next one I can.
No, that's in all seriousness. I already told you, but
Yeah.
I was about to say we like I'm your family, but we're also proud to see the growth and genuinely as a friend, like it is awesome to see you and just to see everybody. Like right now, we're all young and we're all trying to do the thing. I was just talking to one of my buddies in DC who's in journalism actually,
Mhm.
but more political journalism.
Mhm.
And those are his words verbatim. It's like we're in a moment in time where we're all trying to do the thing.
Yeah.
And whatever that thing is for you, it's so special to get to see your close friends pursue it
Mhm.
and to continue to hit those kind of like markers that are signifying I can do this, I will do this. And so it's so special, like getting that call from you that you got into grad school because I know how much of a, process it's been for you and how special of a thing it is for you to try to accomplish. And to hear that you have is just, it's fantastic. It's great. Like it is all the, I don't even know what word to use here, but just affirming my belief, affirming your ambition that you will get there. And so it's nice.
Mm-hmm. Thank you, Joshua.
All the homies are crushing it right now.
All the homies are crushing it for real.
All the homies are crushing it.
Yeah. Guys, you hit the 2-year mark out of college, and then like things just open up. It's crazy.
Things open up, people move. Like I feel like this is such a weird and big year just because this is like the 2-year out of college mark, and friends are like moving, people are getting married.
See, that one, pause. That one's crazy.
That one's wild.
Whoa.
But everybody's in such a different stage of life. And, like some of my very close friends are starting to think about, or not even think about, but are starting to move from New York. You included, like you'll be gone in Syracuse for a little bit. And
crazy.
My boys is going to Houston, and folks are just out and about, moving in with their significant others, etc. Like I said, getting married. So a lot of life change, but it's exciting to see for everyone.
Yeah.
And, crazy times.
Truly. Really, truly.
But I do want to hear more about Super Bowl. I know we've talked about it a little bit.
Yeah.
But and we had the pleasure of getting to see it through your lens.
The pleasure.
The absolute pleasure of getting to see it through your lens. I feel like I got a sneak preview before everybody else because Maggie would send me the videos before she posted them.
Listen, I had to send them because I was so worried. There's a way to do vlogs where they're good, and there's a way to do vlogs where like they're the most cringe-inducing, vomit-worthy things you've ever seen. And I was like, someone has to hold me so accountable here. So if I feel embarrassed sending it to Josh, or if like he has critiques, like it's not going on the gram. Like I'm already self-conscious about this. If you have one thing to say, no.
Well, I had one thing to say, and you were like, I don't care, I'm posting it.
Because that one I thought, yeah, well, that was like a small critique. But you're entitled to your
It was a small thing. It wasn't like a cringe. Well, I guess it was a cringe thing for me, but it, you gotta get your FaceTime in there. There wasn't a lot of face in there.
I'm showing a lot of the behind the scenes. Okay, anyways, so the vlogs were behind the scenes with me on the Pro Bowl and the Super Bowl because genuinely, when I try to tell my parents about what I do, it's really hard to explain. And so I was like, what if I make a vlog that's like, okay, this is like what my day looks like on site at Pro Bowl and Super Bowl as a member of the NFL broadcasting team. And then I made like 4 of them, like 2 for Pro Bowl, 2 for Super Bowl. So fun. Also, it's made me really want to like capture all the little moments because you look back on that and you're like, wow, I'm so glad I did that. Like just for me, like even just to have these videos for myself is really cool because I feel like things like are so fleeting in your memory that you can look at that and it jogs everything back. But Pro Bowl was really cool because it was me and Lucy, who's my direct manager, and we were pretty much just like holding it down for the broadcasting team. So when someone would come up to you on site, someone from ESPN, like we were the points of contact. It was like, you're the one fixing this issue. You're the one solving the problem, which is like really confidence boosting. 1, that my team trusted me to do that. And 2, that I could be like, yeah, no, I can actually figure this out. And like, I can also hold my own talking to all these like all male camera crews and working with like all these different people in like different like technology sectors and production things. That was really cool. So very hands-on, very, very hands-on. And then Super Bowl was less hands-on. Like we each had like very specific tasks, but there were so many of us that it was like you had your one thing, but like you had to nail it. Like you couldn't fuck it up. You really couldn't. So like one of them on game day was like 2 minutes before the guys were supposed to go on field, you had to knock on the door at a really specific time. Like we literally have, I think I said this in one of the videos, a minute by minute schedule. It'd be like at 5:37:45, do this. At 5:47:48, do this. Like it's so scheduled. So TV runs on time of its block because like, if you think about it, Fox has like blocked out time and then there's going to be a show after the Super Bowl and there's probably the 5-hour pregame show, but there's stuff before that. So like you have to stay in the programming window. So you have to make sure that even like the players are hitting these cues. So it's like stage management. So we had to knock on the locker room door of the Eagles make sure the guys were all lined up, get them in line, and then move them down the hallway like for their tunnel intro. So like when they're announcing the players and like Jalen Hurts runs out of the field and it's crazy and like the lights are off, whatever. We had to like schedule that out to make sure that the in-house announcer, the TV announcers, and then like everyone else in between is on the same page. So I was like knocking on the door of the Eagles locker room, opening it. All the guys come out. I don't know. It was just crazy. Like small things like that where you're like, damn, I didn't even know someone had a job to do this, but like here I am.
Dang. And that must have been special for you because you're an Eagles.
It
Well, I
was
don't
really
know if I
cool. My
want to say
team,
an Eagles fan, but like you
yeah,
worked for them at one point.
yeah. And my team put me on the Eagles locker room. So like all the things that I was doing, like the pregame locker room hits, like Julian Edelman and Chris Thompson, I'd like let them into the locker room, make sure that like they get their shots. It was cool. It was really cool.
That's
And
insane.
halftime, so it was Kendrick Lamar. And then I didn't realize that Samuel L. Jackson was part of it until he's literally sitting behind me practicing his lines. Like where this like 2 feet behind me, he's like clearing his throat and like practicing announcing his lines. I'm like, this is insane.
I mean, how cool is it that Samuel L. Jackson is even practicing his lines? Like,
I know. I
guys,
know.
goated in Hollywood already. You would think
Yeah.
he's like, yeah, I'll just go out there but no.
No. No.
The
It
work
was cool.
ethic. The work ethic.
Yeah.
That's insane.
It was great.
That's insane.
Guys, I highly recommend you watch the vlogs. I'm missing so many highlights, but it was
It just
great.
sounds like a fever dream.
It was literally a fever dream. And like I'm sure I'm gonna like things are gonna get jogged in my memory as I think about them, but it's funny because I'm so in the NFL ecosystem that it's like, of course you went to the Super Bowl. To everyone else, they're like, the hell do you mean you went to the Super Bowl? Like, what? And so it's
Yeah.
really weird to try to like sit between like, oh my gosh, it's so insanely cool, and then work where it's like, cool, you went. Like, awesome, happy for you. Combine's next. Like, here
Yeah.
we go.
Let's keep the wheels spinning. Let's go.
Yeah, yeah. It also just reaffirmed that I like being on site, like hands-on, working face to face with people. And it was also really cool because this was like I obviously saw this after I found out that I was getting in. Watching all these different networks as they like do their desk shoots, which is like where they're sitting at that desk. Like ESPN will have their desk and they'll have all their main NFL primetime guys or NFL live guys. That was so cool to like observe and see how they're moving
Hmm.
and be like, oh, okay, this is all making more sense of like how what I currently do ties into that and how I'm gonna have like a good background to go into that because I know all this behind the scenes production stuff that other people won't come in with. So
Yeah. I was gonna say, like, at the very least, when you get to that point, you'll be kinder to those that are trying to help you get into the spot.
absolutely.
You'll be like, oh my God, I was you. I was you once.
No, but for real. Yeah.
Cool. All right, wait. So obviously going to the Super Bowl alone is crazy,
Yeah.
but give me like one, let's do a rose. I don't like not even a thorn. Just like give me two roses from Super Bowl weekend, and then give me just something that like was crazy. Like, I mean, you already said Samuel L. was right behind you, but what was maybe the craziest thing that you experienced?
Okay. Let me think. Oh, I can start with the crazy one. Why did I almost cough that to the tune of the Dochi song? Did you hear that?
Uh,
Yeah. Crazy. So I get to go to NFL Honors because one of my bosses like had tickets and he didn't want to go, which was awesome. It's like the NFL awards show. I get all dressed up, I'm wearing little heels. I'm like, oh, this is fun. Um, we walk in and you have to go through like the magnetic gates essentially, like to make sure that you don't have like anything bad on you.
yep.
So I walk in, I put my stuff down. There's a girl in front of me who has like a little bejeweled football purse and is wearing this like long silver gown. And as she's like walking through in my head, I'm like, oh, cool dress. Like I'm really underdressed for this, but like knowing me, I'm a yapper and like I'm a girl's girl. So I was about to be like words almost out of my mouth, like, oh my God, I love your dress. And then she turns around and then I pick my head up as I'm walking through the scanners. It's Bill Belichick 2 feet in front of me with his 7 rings on his hand, and his girlfriend is the one in the dress. And then I immediately bite my tongue, and I'm just like, no, like I can't, I'm not.
Why did you want to tell her she had a nice dress?
I
You
got
guys are the same age. You guys could have hit it off.
stop.
You guys could have hit it off. You could have got. She could have invited you to Bill's place
I
in
didn't
North Carolina. Like
pause.
you and Bill could be besties.
I I didn't want it to think like because Bill was literally right there.
Yeah.
Like I didn't want it to seem like I was trying to attract attention or whatever. I was trying to do it in a respectful way, but it was shocking. I like walked in right behind them and he's literally wearing all these rings and she turns around and I'm like, "Girl, you look good, but like holy shit, that dress." Yeah, that was
That's
crazy.
hilarious. That's hilarious. I'm sure the dress was nice. I'm
That
sure
was
the dress was
beautiful.
nice.
I'm wearing like a $15 dress from Zara, so I'm really in my head I'm like, "Oh my God."
Yeah, you ain't got that. You ain't got that Bill Belichick money backing you,
No,
so
I don't. No. No. Maybe
can't
someday.
all have that, you know. But
Yeah, that was
shoot,
crazy.
could you imagine if you, I don't know, said something to Bill and you were just like, "Oh my God, I love your rings," like something silly, and
They're trying on.
she's like, "Why are you trying to talk to my man's? Why are you trying to
No,
talk to
see,
my man?
that's crazy. No,
Why are you
that's
trying to
crazy.
back the fuck up? Why are you trying to talk to my man?"
That's actually wild.
Ah, that's hilarious. That's funny.
Yeah, that was definitely a crazy one where I was like, "Oh, we're here. Like this, we are here."
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, yeah.
Um, some
Yeah.
highlights. I would have to say one of the highlights was it's right as the game is ending. I'm on the field working with Fox to make sure that like their set pulls out from the sideline and goes back in. So like during gameplay, it's obviously not on the field, but it rolls out and like collapses and moves up. So we have to like monitor it and make sure that the talent gets out in time. So I'm doing that and I'm standing on the field and the confetti cannon goes off right next to my head. And I'm like, mind you, I have a photo from 2023 when I was a senior in college doing like a snow angel in the NFC Championship confetti for the Eagles. And I have some of it in my room. And so then this goes off next to me and I actually have the most like surreal experience of being like, you could not have told me 2 years ago that I would be doing what I'm doing right now.
No.
It was actually like I don't know, I just like mind blowing a little bit. And I was like, I need to soak this one in. Like take a moment, pause, be where your feet are. Picked up some confetti. Now I have both. That was really cool. That was
Are they
really
different? I
cool.
saw these were shaped like in the shape of the Lombardi Trophy, right?
I don't know if I got Lombardi Trophy ones,
Oh,
honestly.
they
I
just
just
had
shoved it in my fanny pack and moved. I was like, I gotta.
keep it pushing.
Yeah.
Ah, that's so special.
Yeah, it was cool. It was really cool.
Damn. That's one of those things too. It's like to your earlier point when you're talking to your friends and you're like, oh, you know, I went to the Super Bowl and like that's regular and for them it's like insane.
Yeah.
But not only were you at the Super Bowl, but you were like in the weeds of the Super Bowl. You were on the field, you were with talent, you were with players, like you were deep in, you were
Yeah.
entrenched in the Super Bowl, you know?
Yeah.
So it wasn't just like, yeah, I pulled up and I dropped $3,000 on a ticket and I got to
Right.
see my team win, which is an experience in itself and amazing just being around the Super Bowl, but like playing a part and putting it on is so special.
I hadn't actually here's the thing, until you just said that I hadn't really like considered that like because I feel like I was doing such small roles that I was like, oh, but like I'm not really it didn't feel like work to me, I guess. So then like it's crazy to then think, oh my gosh, I did have a tiny role in the Super
Yeah,
Bowl.
yeah.
That's
Tiny but mighty. It takes every what do they say? It takes all of us.
takes all of us. Someone's got to
It
do it.
takes all of us. So
Yeah,
that's awesome. Somebody's got to do it. Look at you, just like deep in Super Bowl lore right now.
dude.
Lamar,
It
somebody's got to do it.
was crazy. It
That's
was so crazy. But wait, I've yapped about myself for genuinely 30 minutes.
yeah. You're the most interesting person in the room.
Well, I'm in my own room by myself, so I would hope so.
This virtual room.
The
This is
virtual
what.
room.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. We could
I
probably
want to
wrap
hear
it up.
about your weekend.
My weekend was fun. I was in DC visiting my family, my uncle, my cousin, my aunt,
Yeah.
my other cousin, I guess on my aunt's side, which we talked about last week, is like not your cousin, but I guess,
Yeah, I
cousin,
have close
whatever.
family friends that you're going to
Close family,
consider.
yeah, whatever you want to call it. Anyways, whole family's amazing, great. Um, I went down there because my team was in, well, my department, I guess, at the NBA were all at All-Star this weekend, which was, I guess, looked like a lot of fun. Uh,
Josh would know he did not get the invite.
I was not at All Star. I probably picked, if you want to talk about like leaving a league and joining another league, I probably picked the worst
Yeah.
time ever to do that in between Super Bowl and All Star. Guess, too early to get the invite, or I guess yeah, too early. I don't even know what I would say right there. Like, yeah, left before Super Bowl and then was too late joining the NBA to go to All Star, which
Yeah.
like not bitter about it, because it just is what it is, and
Yeah.
in a sense, like joined 3 weeks before they're going to All Star. It's not a lot that they can do about that.
Yeah.
But genuinely, it did look like a fun weekend. I watched some of it on TV with my uncle and my cousin, and there was the new format, which was like the tournament style on Sunday yesterday. If you watched, not sure how many did, but
I did not. That's okay. I also don't have cable, so do with that what you will.
yeah. Anyways, it looked fun. It looked fun. I mean, I have my own opinions about it, but they don't really matter. Um, I don't know. I saw one thing that I like, and if I see Adam in the hallway, I'll let him know. But
First
but
name basis, Adam Silver, the commissioner of the NBA. Right.
if somebody online was like keeping the tournament style, they should have like the last eight out or the first eight out. So like with the All-Star voting, the first eight that were there but like didn't make it, weren't selected, they should form a team and then have them play a team in the tournament style. And if they
Ooh.
beat the team that was selected as all-stars, then they take their all-star like their designation. So they get in the record books the title of all-star, and then those on the team that lost lose title of all-star.
Dude,
So like, because the competition is the main issue. I think that's where
right.
everybody's kind of like Pro Bowl,
Same
All-Star.
thing.
NHL actually did a really good job of it this past weekend. But we don't really need to talk about NHL. But like the competition is the biggest turnoff, I think, right now for consumers is just they're going out there and they're kind of going through the motions. And I get it. Like as an athlete, I get it.
Yeah.
You get your all-star designation. That's amazing. Great accomplishment.
Hmm.
I don't want to chill.
Yeah. I'm not trying to get
Not trying to get
injured.
not trying to get hurt halfway through the season. Got a good stretch left, and this is, you know, the more important stretch of the season.
Yeah.
So yeah, I get it. But I think it would be hilarious because you would see guys like they'd be pissed off about it,
Yeah.
but egos on the table. Like you're not trying to lose your all-star
No.
nation, so that
Yeah.
would that would be hilarious. But yeah, other than NBA basketball, also watch a lot of women's college hoops, which was
Yeah.
awesome.
You're blowing the group chat.
Starting with Thursday night, and I was texting you and Bradley because I was up. The game started at like 10. This was USC versus UCLA, which UCLA was ranked first. USC, I want to say was sixth or
Wow.
fifth or something like that. Um, but game was at USC, huge matchup, like
Yeah.
crosstown rivals, great game in itself right there. But then USC playing against a number one school, I think the stat was like they were one in like 50 something against number one ranked opponents in
Wow.
history, something crazy.
Wow.
And I started watching at halftime, which was at like 11:30 p.m.
Oh my God.
It was insane. Like it was a Juju show, which is
Yeah.
USC basketball, but it
Yeah.
was the Juju show. It was crazy. Like I was standing up. I haven't been this excited to watch a game of basketball in a long time. I was standing up. I was like throwing my fists. Juju was blocking everything. At this point, she already had like 30 points. She was blocking everything. Lauren Betts is the center for UCLA, and she's tall. She's like six something. She had a great game
Hmm.
too. But Juju figured her out, and every time they passed the ball into the paint, she just went, timed it up, come from behind, and would just swat it out of Lauren's hands before she went up. And I think she finished with like 8 blocks. It was ridiculous. And she just took over. So that was a lot of fun to kick off the weekend. And then there were a lot of good games yesterday. Who started off? Oh, UConn. Yeah, UConn and South Carolina.
Yeah.
That one, not a fun game, but it was. I mean, it was just a whooping. Like UConn went stupid. Um, what's her name? I'm gonna mispronounce her name. Azzi Fudd.
Yes.
Is that her name?
I know exactly how to spell it. I don't know how to pronounce it, and I think you did a great job.
Yeah, I think it's Azzi Fudd. She went stupid.
Yeah.
Like I was watching the fourth quarter of that game, third and fourth quarter. It looked like she couldn't miss. She was
That,
pulling up from three.
you,
Everything was going in. They were
when
already
you're in that
one.
energy, like as an athlete, when like everything is going, you're like so in flow that it's like an unmatched feeling. Like that's what I feel like I miss from college sports, is like when you get in that.
Yeah, you get in the zone,
Yeah.
which is a real thing, right? Like the
Yeah.
runner's high or whatever you want to call it. But it's just like you're locked in.
Yeah.
And she was all the way locked in. Yeah, she cooked them. This was like I think South Carolina's first home loss in 71 games. Something
What? Oh, weren't
crazy.
they were undefeated last year, yeah?
They were undefeated last year, and then they lost to, they lost to UCLA early. They lost to Texas last week or 2 weeks ago.
Dang.
Um, and that Texas loss broke their streak of SEC wins, which I forgot what it was at, but it was something crazy too. And then they lost at home against UConn, and that broke their 71 game streak. Outside the fact that it was a blowout,
Yeah.
it's cool to see UConn. I think the like narrative before that game was that UConn didn't really have any big wins on the season, and so this was their biggest test to see if they could go into somebody else's home and not just somebody, but South Carolina and
Hmm.
get a win, and they did handedly. And I think they're not one, but they have the highest odds to win March Madness now. So
Dang.
Notre Dame got bumped up to one, and then
Whoa. What a year for them.
yeah, Notre Dame's been from like they've been solid. I'm not gonna sit here and act like I've been watching Notre Dame games, but sorry, Inigo, but they've been solid. They've been
Yeah.
solid. And then I watched like I was on the couch. This was Sunday. I was sitting on the couch for so long with my cousin who was like trying to beat the shit out of me. Um, like it was so funny because he would come jump on me while I was on the couch, inevitably like hurt me because he doesn't know like what his body does with
Right.
people. So I'm like, dude, you gotta stop like kicking me in the face. And he's just like, okay. He's like, you gotta throw me off the couch, which he loves. So I'm over here like on the couch trying to chill, and he's jumping, and I would try to like catch him in midair without like hurting him, and
Yeah.
then like toss him onto off the couch, and he would just keep coming back because he loved it. Um, oh, he's probably gonna listen to this too.
Probably gonna listen to this.
Probably gonna listen to this.
We
Shout
need
out
his
to Han.
feedback.
Huh?
We need his feedback.
You need his feedback on the pod. But it was very cute. And then, sidebar there too, because I gotta shout this movie out. Like,
Okay. Oh.
so my cousin, he picked a movie for us to watch Saturday night when we were eating dinner. Picked The Wild Robot. Hadn't seen it before. I don't know if you have.
No.
It was this animated movie on Peacock. Shout out Peacock. Honestly, I had a great weekend with Peacock. Like it was
Free
SNL 50,
promo.
SNL 50. Everybody's been talking shit about the streamers.
Did you watch SNL 50?
I did. I did. I was concurrently watching SNL 50 and the NBA All-Star game.
Mm.
SNL 50 was dope.
I need to go watch.
Yeah, you do. And you need to watch, and this is why I said Peacock was like it was here for me. It was
Hmm.
tier one this weekend because I was deep diving into SNL. Like, there's so many documentaries out right now. I watched like 50 years of music on SNL, sick. I watched like the behind the scenes when they're casting folks, and then
Yeah.
behind the scenes of some of their biggest sketches, and then just watching some of their older SNL episodes. Like, yeah, it was good. It was good. Went down a rabbit hole. But
So,
back to the Wild Robot before I get back to basketball. Wild Robot like brought me to tears.
no,
Brought
it
me to
didn't. An animated robot movie brought you to tears? Did you quiet?
Animated. I didn't like cry. I didn't cry, but I was sitting there and like if somebody asked me to talk, I would have started crying.
Oh my God.
I was sitting there and it's like me, my cousin, and then my other cousin, who's like
Mhm.
not my cousin, but like my cousin. Um, so yeah. But we're all sitting there and they're like stone faced. So I'm like, am I not supposed to be feeling this? But like cutest, just cute. What
Aw.
cute movie. And it wasn't anything sad, like nothing bad happens to anybody,
Okay.
but it was just one of those like, damn, this robot really just like set aside, not even set aside, this robot just really like encompassed what it meant to be selfless and to care unequivocally for somebody, for something,
Yeah.
and for like a group of people. And it hit me right there. You know what I mean? Like multiple times when it was just like the storyline follows this robot who ends up taking care of a baby chick. Um,
Cute.
yeah, so watches it grow up and like it's not even a chick, I don't know what it is, a gosling. Um, watches it grow up, helps it learn how to eat and fly and all this stuff. But the gosling itself is underdeveloped,
Yeah.
underdeveloped gosling. And so like its odds of ever flying and like getting to go with the pack and getting to be, you know, with its people, its community
It's the
were very,
run.
it's the run. That's what it was. It was a run. Yeah, it was a run. Um, but there, I mean, so many good themes, like just trying to fit in, themes of othering, um, but just like being selfless and not letting people get to you. And then, the people or the animals in this case, because it was in a forest, that went out of their way to like support the mother. And then just like the relentlessness, and I say the mother was a robot. Um, but like the relentlessness of this robot to continue mission, which is something we used to say on our football team. To continue the mission, which was to see this gosling fly with its pack. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And like, ugh, I mean, they just
Deep cut.
right there for me,
You still
So I
got it.
was
You can still feel.
sitting there just like, damn, wish there was a little bit more of this in humanity right now.
That's fair. And that's a fair assessment.
That's what I was feeling.
Wow. That's profound, Josh.
Yeah, that robot got to me.
That rocked you.
That robot got to
It's
me.
gonna sit with you for
Anyway,
a little bit.
no. Like I'm still feeling it. I'm still feeling it for sure. It was funny too because somebody in the office was asking a few weeks ago, like, when's the last time you cried? And I was like, I don't really know. Now
Yeah.
I know.
Now you know.
Now I
What?
know.
Sunday?
Yeah, it was Saturday. Like, yeah, Saturday night.
Okay.
Saturday night. So,
In touch
got
with
me.
those emotions. Feel
Yeah,
it all.
yeah, felt it. And then the last bit of emotions of the weekend were at an all-time high. Texas just beating LSU. Women's
Mm,
basketball. Good
mm.
matchup. I think it was like matchup of 3 versus 5, 3 UT, 5 LSU. Pretty much the matchup for the SEC championship because UT had just beat South Carolina. LSU is number 5. I don't know who their big wins are. I should, but led by Flage, good squad. But
Hmm.
UT, Madison Booker. I mean, it was good ball. UT was down like the whole game. Fourth
Wow.
quarter came storming
Dang.
back, got over the hump, finished the game, closed them out. It was dope. It was good ball. It was good ball. I mean, I'll show you the hezzy real quick. Madison Booker hit one of these. He was like, he was like, top of the key
Hmm.
on the left side. Asked for the ball at the top, got it. Quick turnaround, huh, jab across, dribble, one dribble, huh, step back, little bit of space, not even a lot of space, little bit of space over the defender's hand, like hand right here, right there. Ugh, wet.
I feel like I
It
was there.
was
That was great. Thank you.
it was crazy. That was good ball. That
Wow.
was good ball.
Good
So,
viewing for you this weekend.
um, I mean, just a good sports weekend, just a good weekend with family, good
Yeah.
weekend to get away. There wasn't anything going on in New York that I need to be here for.
You missed
Uh,
luck.
so shout out DC. Well, I guess not, but
Parts of DC.
shout out my family in DC. It was a
Yeah.
good time. If you've gotten this far, you're probably asking yourself, I thought this was a women's sports podcast. Josh just talked about women's sports for like 10 minutes, but other than that, the rest of it was just us chatting. We're trying new things. It's 2025. I think the main goal of this podcast is to get you guys great information on women's sports and have it coming from the two of us, and hopefully it's fun. It's a fun listen. But then we also want you to know more of us so that you connect with us while we're talking about women's sports, and you understand more of the nuances and all the little side chats that happen during the regularly programmed podcast episodes. So Maggie, I don't, you came up with a name for it.
You
You
called it
came
this
up.
over text. This
Oh,
is
I
Cozy
can't. Yeah,
Chats. Welcome to Cozy Chats. It's gonna be whenever we want to drop them, and it's just me and Josh hanging out, and you get to hang out with us. Welcome. I feel like we do this unintentionally all the time, and now we're just recording it. So lucky you, you get to listen in.
yeah.
Welcome.
This is typically like the first 20 minutes of every podcast episode that doesn't get on the episode
Yeah.
anyways. So
Now
it'll
you
be
do.
it'll be that. But then we're also continuing our interview series.
Yeah.
So I know we've got a good few
Yeah.
interviews coming up in the pipeline over the next month or so. So look out for those. We're really excited. Get you guys some more information on basketball and the NFL too, and Super Bowl. Maggie was there, and just happens to know everybody that is important,
Please.
with everybody there. And then hopefully some gymnastics and other things too. So really excited to just continue to bring more content out, and we'll leave it to Maggie to give you the vlogs because I'm not a vlogger.
We're gonna get him on one. We're gonna get one. It's hard because you just started your job, but I do want to show the people what the NBA looks like.
The Office is sick.
Right, like show me what it looks
Office is
like.
sick.
I don't know.
Yeah, I'm not gonna be the guy who like starts his job and then just starts going. So
No.
this is a day in my life at the NBA.
I definitely had to wait like a year and a half to feel comfortable doing
Oh, for
this.
sure. For
So,
sure.
but we're gonna get Josh on a vlog. Long story short,
Give it some time. Give
give
it
it
some
some
time.
time.
It'll
Yeah.
happen. It'll happen.
Yeah.
But yeah, I gotta finish my laundry, and I've made some black beans and rice. So
Ooh, classic. Something
that's my
simple.
plan.